Welcome to Black Belt Beauty Radio, a podcast fueled by a passion to support your journey in developing your most beautiful and optimal performance in life. Each episode is driven with the intention to elevate your mind. When we elevate our mind, we elevate our life. So get ready. It's time to rise. Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to Black Belt Beauty Radio and happy November, you guys. Man, fall is in full gear, and as much as I love summer and, warmer temperatures, I mean, it's still warm in LA, let's be real, but I'm actually really excited and embracing fall this year. I think because this is the final couple of months, not just of 2019, but of an entire decade, which is so gnarly and so powerful to take in, because it really bookends the last 10 years of our lives. And so, being a deep thinker, someone who is very, very inspired and turned on by the ways at which I can constantly be improving in my life, it's a really important time to take notice of what has this last 10 years been for me from an internal perspective, from the external perspective, and not, in this evaluation and, deep thinking, I'm certainly not coming from a place of judgment. I literally feel like I'm sitting in a classroom as a student and I am observing. It's a very important place to be, asking yourself questions and reviewing from, because the minute you start judging, it just turns into some other shit that, I don't want anything to do with, and I don't think any of you guys want to do with. It's obviously the easier route. It's easier for us to pick on ourselves. Are we where we want to be in our finances, our career, our body or health, our home, but that's not going to get us anywhere close to where we do want to be and, improving. So in this, period of time, if you are like me and you like to reflect and take notice of, what has taken place in the last year, in the last 10 years, this last decade of your life, I'm going to suggest that you really do it from a place of observation and a loving, supportive place to yourself, because no matter what has transpired, I know everyone who listens to this podcast has put some serious effort in towards their life. And I'm going to get down on that particular subject later in the solo-sode. But what this episode is about, you guys. So I have some questions that I feel are going to be very supportive for you to not only kick ass in your life, but specifically it's a new month and I really want to support you guys to make this a very strong, powerful month, so that we finish this year and this decade feeling really good, feeling really empowered, feeling like we're on our game and we're making a difference. And it doesn't matter if it's, we've still got miles and miles to go before we hit the bullseye of the things that we want in our life, but we are actually taking steps forward. And when I say this is, I always speak to not just external goals, but I'm talking always first from the internal, right? Because I am a firm believer that everything starts from within. So if we don't got the internal dialed, there are a lot of people, a lot of people can make great success happen externally, but if they haven't done the work internally, it will show up later in the game, and that's usually not a fun experience, but that's maybe their processing in their own life. But anyways, okay, so moving on to the questions, I'm going to get right into it, and I want to also suggest that in these questions, maybe pause, write them down. If you have a journal or whatever you want to do, however you choose to write them down, get something out where you can really, really get deep in these questions, because I want to dig through the layers. I don't want to just throw questions at you. I want to peel back the onion here, because that's how we really get deep into the mind and also start to stimulate actual emotions about, the answers. And that's really, really important, especially when we are, driving ourselves towards, achieving and actualizing these things for our want. They cannot just be one dimensional. We really have to own them and take them in for us to make it happen. So if you have the chance to push pause, grab a journal, and let's do this together. Class is in session, you guys. All right. So the first question I want to ask is, what is one thing that you've been procrastinating on that would greatly serve you to get done? I'm going to repeat it. What is one thing that you've been procrastinating on that would greatly serve you to get it done? Obviously, this is going to look different for everybody. You can certainly have more than one answer, meaning you can discover something in your work life, you can, and your, health game, or, your home life, or whatever. I mean, this is all on you. And I should also say, before I keep moving forward, that honesty is the most important thing here. There's no judgment. So just be free and be real, because if you're not being real, if you're not being honest, you may as well stop now. There's not going to be any growth, right? So what is that one thing? Now, once you have, picked the one thing, or maybe there's a couple of things, and you've written this down, my next question for you is, how would it serve you to get this stuff done? Like, really think about that. How would it serve you? What would it do for you to actually get these things done? How would the ripple effect, what would the ripple effect be in you doing this? So I'm going to give you like a funny, but like realistic, example. Let's just say you've been putting off, I don't know, even doing your laundry. Let's just start super simple and easy. Everyone's got laundry, right? So it's very relatable. And you've been busy and you're tired. And by the time you get home, all you want to do is, watch your whatever or do whatever, but you're not trying to do your laundry. And now you've got some piles, right? And I don't know about you guys. I'm a very organized, I guess people would call a neat freak. I don't like titles, but my home is absolutely a great sort. It's connected to my mind, right? So I'm an artist. I want everything to look beautiful. Everything has its place. I'm not a hoarder. I'm like the opposite. I'm a fucking purger. I throw everything away. But I really like order in my home. So if I had piles of laundry sitting in my home, it would bother me. It would feel like weight. And even if you're not thinking about it in that way, it really is, right? Because going back to the question, how would it serve you to get it done? So how would it feel if you just finally just said, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to spend 4 hours today on my Sunday or whatever that is for you. And I'm going to just power through my laundry and get it all done. How would it, and this was just a fun, everyday example for everybody because we all have got laundry. But going back to your specific things that you've noted that you have been procrastinating on, what would it do for you to get these things done? And really think about the emotion, like feel that, how good it would feel to get it done. How would it affect the rest of your life? If it was the laundry, you're going to wake up, you're going to feel a lot better. You're going to have more space in your home, one thing less off your list. Now you have more space in your mind to focus on something that's actually really important, et cetera, et cetera. So to peel this back a little further, I want to ask you, how would it feel once you get it done? Now, that might seem like a very similar question, but the question right before this was like, what's the ripple effect, right? But now I want you to dive into, how would it actually feel? You're going to feel lighter. You're going to feel more accomplished. You're going to feel more organized, keep going, right? So really think about how it would feel, because this is how we start to motivate ourselves, right? Because oftentimes what's happening when we are procrastinating, not all times, right? Because there's different reasons why we procrastinate, and that might be worthy of its own entire episode. But for now, I just want to keep this in this space of, a lot of times when we're procrastinating on something, it's because, we don't feel motivated to do it. Maybe it's overwhelming, it's making us afraid or whatever. But when we start to really think about how it would feel to get these things done, that's when you start to really get into other parts of your body, and you're turning on like these kind of energy signals within you that are going to literally be helpful to actually make you get up and start doing the thing, right? So my next question is, why is that important to you? So why is it important for you to feel that way? Why is it important for you to experience the ripple effect of this getting it done? Why is it important for you to get this thing done in general? Like, why are these things done? Really think about and write down, why is it important to you? This is how we start to we start to set ourselves up to move into action, because it can feel very overwhelming when you have this thing that you've been putting off for whatever reasons. But when you start to peel back the layers like this, and you start to take in the feelings and really visualize, the process of what would happen when you get it done and how it would affect these other areas of your life and this other, it just now whether you realize it or not, you are literally setting yourself up to get into action. So on that note, the last thing that I want to bring to your attention with regards to this question on procrastinating is, what is one action you can take towards getting this thing done or these things done? So what is one action? And, listen, for some people, depending on what these things, or thing is that you've been procrastinating, it could be a small step to get this done or towards getting this done. Or it could be a big, I'm just going to wipe it out right now. Like in the example of laundry, maybe you can just get that shit done right now, right? It's done. Wipe off your list, right? But if it's something that needs, a little bit, maybe it needs more than you for it to happen, right? Maybe you've been putting off a talk that you don't really feel like having with your partner or your coworker or something along that line, then maybe this is something you actually need to write down first so you can get more clear on, what you want to express in this conversation. And then the step after that is to actually have the talk. So obviously that is going to look very different, but you guys are all smart and you can figure this out. I just want to inspire you with the question of, what is one action step that you can take towards getting this thing done? Because listen, I know in my own experience in life, when I catch myself procrastinating, keyword catch myself, because I'm so self-observant that I fucking know when I'm procrastinating on something. It's really funny. Like I'll start doing a lot of busy work around the house or something. It's like, stop. You don't need to, wipe the counter again. Like sit down and fucking write the book. Like that's a real life example, by the way. So I hope that is helpful. That was, lots of layers to the first question. Okay, next question is, what is one thing that you've been saying yes to in your life that has not been serving you? And, that could be a lot of things. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's a job that you're not inspired by anymore. Maybe it's watching too many hours of Netflix when you could be learning something new, or, working out, or spending more time with, your loved ones or yourself, meditating or writing or something like that that's productive. Again, it's all going to come down to your life, your specifics. But what would happen if you flip the script and you start saying no to that thing? I want you to really think about that. What would happen if you flip the script, and rather than saying yes to this relationship that's not serving you, or this job, or the Netflix, or whatever, the examples I just gave, and you flip it, right? And you start saying, no, this relationship isn't serving me anymore. I got to go. This job isn't inspiring me. I feel, I got to go. I got to switch things up. Hours of consuming television is really not making any progress for me in my life. So I'm going to start, saying no to this and looking into other areas of my life that I can make more progress and do better with my time there. Think about that, really visualize that, write it down, literally making a list. It's so fucking powerful to write shit down. I say that all the time, you guys. I'm going to keep saying it because it's a methodology that I rely on and it's proven to be very effective in my life, and not just my life, in so many people's lives. So what is one thing you've been saying yes to that has not been serving you in your life? And what would happen if you flip the script and you start saying no to that thing? Write down the examples of what would happen, what could potentially happen, right? Because we don't necessarily know, but you can definitely start to use your imagination and your creativity of what your life would look like in saying no to that thing. What are the activities you would start to do? What are the new jobs you would seek? What are the, what kind of person would you allow into your intimate space? This is so important because when we start to really get deep into our imagination and use our creativity to, see a bigger picture for ourselves and our lives, you guys, that's the first fucking step to getting there, right? If we can't see it, it's just not possible, right? So this is a really, really powerful question. And it's one that I've been asking myself and really thinking about, flipping the script and, making sure that, I then take action steps in, flipping the script and actually moving towards, progressing in that way that I actually would prefer to, right? So, man, it's a good one. I think it's a good one. Anyways, okay. The next one is, what is one thing you've been saying no to in your life that would actually serve you by saying yes to it? So, again, business, love life, money, health, all of it. I'm going to just go full out and tell you one thing I've been saying no to that now I'm starting to say yes to. So this podcast is about to start becoming both video and audio, you guys. And initially when I started the podcast, I knew that it would go video at some point. But in my mind, I was like, no, I need to have my studio set up. Like, then I'll start dealing with that, because right now, a lot of times I'll record podcasts on the go. Sometimes I'm in the home of the guest. Sometimes they're in mine. Sometimes we're in some, random community place, whatever. So there's just a lot more lifting in terms of like production and what you're thinking about to do video, right? And so I didn't want that to interfere with my progression to getting episodes created. But I'm in this place now as, I get ready to hit the 2-year mark of this podcast next month, which is so fucking exciting and crazy and rad, where it's time to make those bigger moves. And I'm giving myself room to know, like, understand that, the production quality is not going to be, like Joe Rogan's yet. It's not, it's not going to be on that level. I got to build to that. Right. But it will. And this is how it gets done. Like, I have to fucking start it. So rather than saying, no, I'm just, to no to recording a video for this podcast, I'm saying yes. And I'm, now about to start putting the work in towards making that yes a reality, basically. So hopefully that helps you by just illustrating an example, and also lets you guys know that, you can start looking forward to some interesting, rad, fun video episodes. I mean, sometimes, honestly, the episodes that I've been recording with guests just fucking deserve to be video. They're just, there's a lot of fun that happens that you guys can't see. So I'm excited, and, I'm not nervous, but I'm like, oh, okay, gonna get this done. So anyways, okay, moving on. I will ramble. I've got lion's mane brewing in my mind right now. All right. The next question is, what is one way you can be in better service to yourself this month? I mean, okay. So I'm going to give a couple examples. For me, the first place my mind goes is self-talk. Fucking self-talk. Are you, when you're faced with a challenge, do you, are you supporting yourself to move towards it or to move through it? Are you, operating from a victim mindset or an empowered mindset? Like, how are you communicating with yourself? Are you, when something has not gone to your, maybe like you had a goal and you missed it, are you beating yourself up? Maybe you didn't get to your workouts and, you haven't eaten the best and, you've kind of, in quotations, fallen off your program. Are you feeling guilty? Are you feeling shame? This is a very common thing in people. And I stand for this idea of you got you, be on your own team, right? And so the first step to doing that is really the communication that we have with ourselves. It is so important, right? So that's just one example. This can be a lot of different things for you guys. What is one way you can be in better service to yourself this month? Maybe it's actually getting up a little bit earlier so that you can meditate before you start your day. Maybe it's, reading one book a month on this particular subject that you're very passionate about and you want to learn more of, but you just haven't put in the time to, do the research, read the books. Again, it could be so many different things. And that's what's also, really fun about these questions, because these questions are not like a one-stop shop. Like, these are revolving questions that are going to continuously be useful in our lives, because we are always evolving and the answers are always going to change. So they're really fucking secret weapons. I'm going to wait till the end of this episode because I want to share something about this concept of these questions with you guys. That is going to be, it's just an exciting thing that I've been working on, and I think will be very, not just like valuable, but I think it will be fun for you guys to take in, for those of you who actually participate in this. But yeah, the goal here with these questions, you guys, is, to learn about yourself, to learn about how you can get better, and then to set yourself up into action to actually move towards these answers, these things that you desire, that you want to achieve and experience in your life, right? So what is one way you can be in better service to yourself this month? And to peel that back a little bit deeper, the next part of that question is, what is one step that you can start making today that would support that? If it's self-talk, write on your mirror something beautiful about yourself. I have a note on my mirror that's literally been there for years. I wrote it in lipstick, and it just, it doesn't move. And yes, the mirror is cleaned every single week, but lipstick will stick after several years. But I love seeing that note to myself, and it's just, it's a beautiful, the first thing I see in the morning when I look in the mirror is this beautiful self-loving note to myself, and again, this is just an example that I'm sharing, but, if it's reading the book, can you download, something to your Kindle and just read 2 pages of it right now? If it's meditating, can you set your alarm for 5 minutes earlier tomorrow to just get up and start with this small, meditation practice, something like that, right? I'm all about fucking baby steps, because inches make the mile. So, but if there is something that you can actually do today to, set yourself up to be in better service to yourself this month and really in your life, I'm really asking, for you to think about that and then to move towards the action of doing it. Like, really, really do this. Okay. So final question, you guys. This is a big, juicy one. Are you ready? Here we go. And I really hope you write this down. What is one thing you can appreciate about yourself and the efforts that you've made this year, regardless of their results, right now? Like right now, I want you to stop and think about that. So forget about if you've, crushed the goal, the results. You've made effort. What is one thing that you can appreciate about who you are, yourself, and the efforts that you've made this year in 2019, regardless of the results? It's powerful energy to take this in. It really does support you to being your best teammate, to being your best friend, to, as you maneuver through this sport and game of life, it's you being on your side, like this energy, this momentum, when you take in those answers and really think about it and appreciate it and own it. It's man, this is real shit that makes a difference. And I say that to you as, someone who lives it. I feel this support. I have, I'm a path creator. I don't have, none of us have any guarantees, but like, I'm a solopreneur. I operate my life from my intuition, truly. Like my business, everything is so intuitive, right? And, I have to be very brave to do that. And so I guess how about this? I'm going to give you something about myself. I appreciate how brave I have been to put myself out there and to, all the efforts that I've made towards my business, towards my health, towards my relationships, in this last year of 2019, they're very, very, very visible to me because I have lived them with all of my heart and best intention. And could I have done better in some areas? Fuck yeah, always, never mad at that answer because I'm a fan of always, having room to progress. I want to be progressing. So, what is the one thing that you can appreciate about yourself right now and the efforts that you have made in this year, regardless of the results? Okay, so to finish up this episode, I've got a few shout outs that are going to further support you to crush it this month from mind, body, and spirit. All the mentions are going to be linked in the show notes, so you can check them out after. So the first one I want to mention is a podcast I did recently with the girls behind the Cage Free Chicks podcast, Michelle and Nadia. So the podcast name is The Cage Free Chicks. It was such a rad talk. I love these girls. I adore them. They're two young, very, very smart, curious girls who I had an epic conversation with, all, geared around living a life from an empowered mindset versus a victim mindset. I actually shared my formula that I've developed to help you live from a very empowered mindset. It's kind of broad strokes, but I'm going to be talking about this formula a lot more. Not only my podcast, it's part of my book. There's a lot more coming out from this, so I'm excited to share that later. That was kind of a tease, but I do dig into it a little bit into this episode. I also talk about what it means to be a high performer from my perspective and to be living a holistic high performing life, which is the life that I am ultimately living, and I feel like a lot of you are as well who listen to this podcast. But yeah, it was a fun talk. I appreciate what they're doing. Their podcast is rad. They bring on awesome guests. They had my brother, Mike Safai, on there before. It's been one of my favorite podcasts. I know he's my brother, so that might be, a biased comment, but truly he is such a thought-provoking fucking human. So that was a really fun episode, and I highly recommend you guys checking that out. And the next thing I want to talk about, it's funny, I almost wasn't going to mention this yet because I'm not finished with it, but I'm almost finished with Marie Forleo's book, Everything is Figureoutable. So that's her latest book. If you guys don't know who Marie is, she's so worth knowing, investing in. I have been a fan of her work for several years now. And I really feel a deep connection to her. She has, she's a multi-passionate entrepreneur. And thank you, Marie, for fucking summing me up really quickly, because that is who I am as well. I have, different avenues of my career life, and they're all very important to me. And, I'm in a place now where it really kind of all makes sense. Everything does connect, even though they can seem very separate, but they're not. It's taken a lot of time to get to this place though. So, but the book is just awesome. It is so empowering. It really helps you to not just get past certain fears or hesitations, but there's actual strategies and, worksheets that are going to help you get into action to doing this. She is all about, creating a life that you love living, as am I. So, I feel like I'm going to have more to say when the book is actually finished, but I wanted to share it now because I feel very fired up by it. And, there's a lot of stuff in there that I'm already living. I want to say this because I think this is important. Sometimes maybe you're like me, you see a new book that comes out. You're like, oh, am I really going to benefit from that? I've already got great habits. Do I need to learn about the power of habit? Making an example. Yeah. First of all, I think we can always learn more. We can always learn better. So, and if it's this area that you are passionate about, why not investigate it further? Because you never know, there might be one thing that you learn from that entire fucking book that you didn't have in your arsenal, and now you have. So now you're that much smarter in your game, or that much better in your game because of it, Or let's just say you've got all the weapons that were shared, but you're fortified, you're validated, you're reinforced from the message, the tactics, the strategies, the story of these books. So, for me, I'm getting a little bit of all of that from this book. I'm certainly, feeling very validated and reinforced because so much of what she shares is what I've actually been living and currently live. But then there are certain things that she suggests and that she puts out in her own beautiful way, as Marie does, that have really helped to open up my mind to look at, whatever it is, a little bit differently or move towards it differently. And so I'm so appreciative of not only this woman and the work that she puts out, but this fucking rad book. So Marie Forleo, Everything is Figure Outable. I've linked it in the show notes. Check it out, you guys. You will not regret it. Okay, moving on to body, I want to talk about something that has been proven to be highly beneficial to my health and well-being, and is something that is proven in science that you can all start doing literally today to help you in your health and overall well-being. And this thing is called grounding, also known as earthing. So a lot of you who follow me on Instagram see me doing my beach walks, to end the day often. And, I'm walking barefoot in the sand. And from time to time, I talk about grounding or earthing as I'm doing it. So what it is essentially is putting your bare feet, getting that skin contact with the earth. So it could be water, snow, mud, dirt, sand. The earth has a negative charge, you guys. And science has proven that there is a lot of health benefits to getting this negative charge from the earth. So some of the proven research is on grounding is it helps with, it improves your sleep. It decreases inflammation. It helps to decrease stress. And essentially what it's doing in that way is it's taking us out of the sympathetic state, which is fight or flight. And most of us operate in that way. And just, it's today's life, the way we're set up. Our phone alerts, you don't realize it, but it's putting your body in fight or flight. So it helps us to flip that switch and go into the parasympathetic state, which is rest and recovery or rest and digest. It also helps with, circulation, digestion. And I'm going to add to that and just say that it also just feels very good from a primal sense to be connecting with earth because we are nature. We are all nature, right? But that's just my own little kind of thought on it, in addition to the science that is proven that I have just mentioned. So, I want to inspire you guys to start developing a habit to put your bare feet outside for, whatever you got, if it's 2 minutes, if it's 5 minutes or more. I mean, that's going to look different for a lot of people, depending your life, also your geography. I know that standing in cold snow might not sound very appealing to some of you. To some of you it may, because cold exposure is a fucking powerful proven thing to help optimize your health. Ice baths, cryotherapy, cold showers, etc. But just, doing what you can to just get some contact from your feet to the earth. You can start doing it today. Go outside, and just put your feet in the earth and start to build the time that you're able to do that, penning your life and all that. But that is one thing that I wanted to share with you because it is, like I said, it is something that is it's a powerful tool for me to help optimize my health. I feel fucking great. I mean, it's not just health, it's like my overall well-being, when I get done with my walk on the beach at night or the evening, I feel calmer. I feel, oftentimes I do it after dinner, so I feel more digested. It totally helps with sleep. I track my sleep. I can see the difference, So, try that out. Let me know your thoughts. I love hearing, how the things that I share on this podcast actually do support you, because that's the goal here, man. It's like to give you actual information, content, strategies, tactics, that will be applicable to your own life so that you can keep getting better every single day in your beautiful life. So the last thing I want to leave you with that I think is very powerful to help you crush your month and really your life is a quote from the author James Clear. His most recent book is Atomic Habits. Really, really powerful, wise man. So the quote is, "Nothing can be improved before it is established." Nothing can be improved before it is established. So what is that thing you want to make improvements on, but you need to actually like get it into gear before you can actually start making progress. It's a fun thought to think about, and I love thinking about fun thoughts, don't you? All right, you guys, so to wrap this episode up officially, I have a PS for you. PS, as of January 2020, I will be sending all of my email subscribers a weekly email that is pretty much what I'm calling it is a little love letter from me. And it's going to be short. It's something that you can digest in literally 2 minutes, probably faster. But it is meant to elevate your mindset, to keep you operating from a very empowered mindset, help to optimize your self-development and ultimately your life performance. So I'm looking forward to that. This has been something that I've been planning and working on and, wanting to do something creative and different that's actually valuable. I know how emails these days can be very just daunting, basically. So, all of those who subscribe to my email list can have my word that, your email's safe with me. You are not going to be bombarded. I hate that shit so much. This is literally just going to be another way that I can extend support to you and ultimately stay connected to you. So if you have not subscribed yet to blackbeltbeauty.com, please go ahead and do so. And I look forward to that. That's going to be a fun new project to take on and ultimately just stay very connected to all of you. So you guys, on that note, I got to go eat. I hope this podcast has served you well. Please let me know. Throw it up in your Instagram stories. I love seeing that shit so much. I love feeling your support. It fuels my fire, and I am here to serve you. So lots of love, and I will catch you on the next one.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode, you guys. If you loved it, please share it on your social. Throw it up on your Instagram stories and tag me. I'm at Black Belt Beauty. I am also at Roxy Look, RoxyLook. I love connecting with you guys. This is a conversation that I want to just continue growing with you guys. So if you feel inspired to hit me up, do so in that space. I always enjoy hearing from you. If you'd like to support this podcast, you can do so by rating it and reviewing it via iTunes. It's such supportive help, you guys. It really helps the visibility of this podcast. So I appreciate and thank you in advance for doing that. And last but not least, if you are interested in starting your own podcast, or perhaps you already have one and you need help with, editing your audio and the production of it, I cannot recommend my producers enough. Resonate Recordings, you guys, they are the bomb. I rely on them. They are an absolute supportive tool to me and my podcast. So check them out and let them know that Black Belt Beauty sent you. And on that note, you guys, I'm signing off with all my love and always looking forward to catching you on the next.